Welcome back to Game Galaxy, and I just wanted to make a quick video on what is the best cheap emulation handheld device there is. I am away from home working on a film, so I don't have all of my fancy cameras or obviously where I usually shoot videos, so this is going to be done with a cell phone. I just wanted to get some information out there for people that are interested in these different devices and to tell them what not to do. So first and foremost, I just want to say we're not going to get too crazy and showing too much, but the Bittboy line, skip it. Don't buy it at all. Don't be like me and think, well, maybe the screen tearing won't be so bad. Both the Pocketgo and the Bittboy have screen tearing issues because the screens they're using in here have a refresh rate of 30 hertz. So the games running at 60 frames per second are always going to have screen tearing. It's not anything that a firmware can fix or anything. I know I gave the original Bittboy a favorable review, but I told you that it wasn't perfect and it had issues like screen tearing and shimmering. The problem with the version 2 and 3 that they came out with is that they allowed it to emulate more systems, but everything suffered and went way worse than it originally was, so I cannot recommend the Bittboys. The Pocketgo is also way too small. I know it's hard to see in YouTube videos like, oh, maybe not, it's not that bad. This screen is so tiny, it's like 2.4, way too small to really enjoy. So take my advice, save your money, and don't buy the Bittboy or the Pocketgo. Those are no good. Now, obviously, out of these, this is the GPI Case by Retroflag. Obviously, this is one of the best, but to me, this is like a premium item. It not only was not a lot of these made, but it was expensive and a pain in the butt, and it's also very thick. And one thing that I don't like, it runs on AA's. You can get yourself rechargeables, but the rest of these come with rechargeable batteries, lithium-ion batteries in them. So this one, because it's such a premium, nostalgic type item, this never leaves the house for me. I don't take it out because I don't want it to get damaged. And then that leaves these two, which are these three rather, which are the newest on the Chinese handheld market. This is the LDK game, and this is the LDK game landscape or horizontal version, whatever you want to call it. And this is the Retro Game 300 or RG300. The 300 makes it sound like it's another device with like built-in games, but it's not. It's essentially the same thing as the LDK. Same processor, same performance, just different components such as a screen and buttons and whatnot, and you add your own ROMs via an SD card. The LDKs have the best screen quality out of any of these handhelds, including the GPI Case. They're just pristine, they get really, really bright, and I really like how cute the LDK game is. The only thing is, after an extended amount of time playing, my hands are a little too big for this, and I feel cramped, and it's not as comfortable. The horizontal version is extremely comfortable, especially if you're going to be playing a game that uses the left and right triggers a lot. The horizontal would be the way to go. But to make a long story short, I've done, after much deliberation, the RG300 is my absolute favorite here, and I just really love it. Doesn't have as good as a screen as the LDKs, and Mad Little Pixel brought up that it looked like there was grain in the screen. I wouldn't say grain is the description. It's more like there's a bit of fuzz, or it looks like there's dirt underneath the screen. It actually reminds me of screens on GPSs like Garmin or TomTom that you'd use in your car. That's what it reminds me of. So it's not as a pristine and clear screen as the LDK, but it is a larger and the largest screen at 3 inches, even larger than the GPI Case, which is at 2.8. And just, I enjoy the larger screen for just comfort and ease when playing. The buttons are all nice. I feel that this one has the best speaker for sound as well. And ergonomically for my hands, the RG300 is just extremely comfortable. Now, one thing that's kind of a bummer with the RG300 is that on the right side of the screen, there's a little bit of light bleed that you can see there. It's not super distracting, but it is noticeable. And as I move here, you can see there's always just a bit of a hot spot on that right side of the screen. So that's one thing that bothered me, but I really liked this device compared to everything else that was available. So I went ahead and ordered another one right away to see if maybe by chance I had, you know, just a defective one or whatever. But because no one had a review out at the time. So I ordered another one, but every single one of these Chinese handhelds always has something keeping it from being perfect. So I ordered another one from the same website, and this showed up, which I was like, wait a minute, this looks a little bit different. And they revised it where, okay, so now this has a gray outline and this stupid gray circle here, and, you know, as opposed to the black here. And so I thought I would be able to take out my SD card from my original RG300 that had the custom firmware installed and insert it into the new one, but it didn't work at all. So I was stuck using the stock. Now here is the thing that's just killing me inside, is that they fixed the screen on this new RG300. It is a much better screen. There's no longer that fuzzy or dirty feeling screen from before, but it doesn't get as bright as the original or as any of the other devices like the LDKs. So that's a bummer if you're on a train or in a car or outside in an environment. It just doesn't get as bright as the other ones, and that is one thing that is a bummer that keeps me still playing the original version, even though it has that little bit of fuzz or grain. I just wish, man, if they had made this brighter, it would be the perfect unit. One last thing I forgot to mention about the RG300s is that they do have L&R buttons right here on the back, so they're super comfortable. Your fingers just sit nicely in there as you hold it, and so you won't miss out on any games that require the L&R buttons. An additional reason why I like these Chinese cheaper handhelds for on the go is how quick they boot up and you're ready to play. Compared to the GPI running a Raspberry Pi Zero, it takes forever for this thing to boot up. So it's not a quick pull out and play kind of thing. Like I said, this is a very at-home experience for myself. So just an example, I'm gonna flip the switches on both of these so you can see just how long it takes to turn them on. So here we go, I'm gonna flick the GPI, and then I'm gonna flick the Retro Game 300. As you can see, on the retro game side, I'm already loaded in. I could get into a game. Look at that, I'm already playing. Meanwhile, the GPI over there is just hanging out. I don't know what the heck it's doing over there. I've already beat the first level of Super Mario Brothers, and the GPI is still not up. There we go. I'm in the second level, and we finally just now have booted up on the GPI. So, like I said though, this thing is great. I do love it, it's very nice. All in all, not to drag on, I would suggest you have to ask yourself, what do you want and what do you consider better? Do you like screen quality over screen size? If that's so, I would recommend the LDK game or the LDK horizontal. But if screen size is your jam as well as ergonomics, I would recommend the RG300s. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.